Hi there, I'm Eric. I work with Forte, and this afternoon I'd like to show you some different stretches that you can do when you're sitting at your desk and you've been there for a while and you're starting to feel a little bit stiff and tight. I'll tell you, most of us will tend to feel a little bit of tension in our upper back, tension in our lower back, and probably some tension in our neck. And here's why. When we sit at a computer, we tend to do this. Now, that might be an exaggeration for some people, but it's probably not for others. I'll tell you that the chair that I'm in is probably not what I would consider good for a desk, but it's going to be good for what it is I'm trying to show you this afternoon. So we're going to start off, and this is just something I would recommend that you do for yourself frequently throughout the day. Alright, I'm going to turn sideways first so you can see what I'm doing, and this is just a posture correction. So here's what we want to do. We want to do what we call a chin tuck, and all it is this. So what I've done is I've taken and I've brought my chin in a straight back movement, just like so. It gives me this little double chin thing down here that nobody likes, but the fact is that, you know, as we all get older, we get a little extra skin down there anyway. But this is what we want to do. It's just a straight back tuck. It's hard to talk in this position, so this isn't a position I would tell you to hold all day long. I just want you to hold it for about 5 seconds. So it's tuck back, hold for 5 seconds, let it relax. I'm going to go sideways again, tuck back, hold it for 5 seconds, let it relax. And we just want to do that as many times as is comfortable for us. Tuck back, hold for 5 seconds, let it relax. Now what this is not is this. It's not a chin to the chest, okay, and it's not looking up. It's a straight back movement. I would recommend, and in fact have recommended to many people over the last 20 years, to do that about every hour, 5 or 10 times for 5-second holds. Here's another one I like to do. I like to bring the ear over to the shoulder and just hold it for about 10 seconds. And then we bring it back up and we bring our ear over to the other shoulder, hold it for about 10 seconds. And you'll see, even on me, one side is a little tighter than the other. One side is obviously a little more flexible than the other. Kind of obvious on that statement. And so we just go back and forth, and same thing, holding that for about 10 seconds each. We just kind of do that just to keep the head and neck a little bit more flexible throughout the day. Because the longer that we sit and the less that we move, the tighter that we get. And you bring it back up. Just helps take away some of that tension that starts to develop in that neck and shoulder area. The other thing that we often do, because we start to get pain back by the shoulder blade, is we turn the head and we look down, just like so. Same idea. We want to hold that for about 10 seconds. I like to tell people it's kind of like you're trying to look at your opposite pocket or even like your armpit. Alright? So turn your head, look down, opposite side, stay for about 10 seconds. Come on back up, bring your head back to neutral. We're going to go do one more each side just for demonstration. Bring your head back up, look back over the other way, look down, 10 seconds. And bring it back up. Now you can certainly hold it longer, and you can certainly do it shorter. It really depends on how you're feeling at the time. If it's feeling good when you're stretching, just go ahead and hold it down there for a longer period of time. If you're just feeling a little bit of beginning tightness, sometimes what's really helpful is just to do a little bit of a neck roll. And we just go down and forward and back up the other side and back up to the top. And then we go just the opposite of that, down and forward, around to the other side and back up to the top. And again, you can do this a few different times throughout the day, and what it does is it just kind of slowly stretches things out, gets some mobility in the joints within your neck, and helps things just kind of relax and decreases tension a little bit for you. I do not ask people to go backward with it, and the reason why is because I've treated way too many people over the last about 20 years that's caused some issues with them. So we just kind of go down and forward, other side, because what it does is it takes away the tension and it opens up the joints in the back of the neck, and then we just come right back and try to tuck the chin a little bit and go back to whatever it is we're working on. Now, another thing you can do for your shoulders and for your upper back, for the shoulders you can kind of come across and just bring one shoulder across, and you should feel that stretching right back here by the shoulder blade, stretching right in there. And just hold that again for about 10 seconds. And do the same thing on the other side. Just bring it on over, stretch that out, hold it there for about 10 seconds. An alternative to this is just kind of reach around and grasp with your hands and try to go back and even grab your shoulder blades if you can, and just kind of take in a deep breath, and you'll feel that stretch out and open up your middle back in the back there. You can even tuck your head down, and that stretches things out even more. Or a third alternative is just bring your hands out in front of you, bring your head down, and just push those shoulders forward and round your back that way. And this is probably the most common one that I teach people. And the same thing, I would say, stay there for about 10 seconds. Head down, shoulders forward, count to 10. And then come on back up. And again, just do 3 or 4 of them in a row. Just get some flexibility built up. And you can do the opposite too. I'm going to turn sideways again. Hands behind the back. Pull your shoulder blades back and then lift your hands up. Now, for some people, especially if you have shoulder problems, this can be uncomfortable. You might not get very far up off of your butt. I happen to have flexible shoulders, so it's nice to be able to show that flexibility. But you can start, if what you're feeling as you pull your shoulder blades back and kind of squeeze them together and just get a little bitty lift here. If you get a stretch right here in your chest, right in front of your shoulder blades, shoulders, that's exactly what we're going for, all right? So just a little stretch, 5 to 10 seconds. You're gonna get a little bit of a forward arch in your lower back when you do that too. And I don't have a problem with that with this exercise, and here's why. When we've been sitting for a long period of time, I already showed you, we all kind of tend to slump a little bit. So as we pull those shoulders back and lift up, and it causes a little bit of a forward arch in the back, it's actually kind of relieving to the lower back as well. So I really like it as an exercise for you, because that will help stretch the chest from being in this slouched, slumped position. It'll help take the upper back and the lower back out of that slouched, slumped position and allow you to come up and really tighten up those muscles to hold a slightly better posture for a little bit of time. And then the last thing that I usually show people to do if they've been sitting for a while and they're feeling a little bit, well, 2 things. I was going to say last, but I'm giving you 2 more. One, you can still do this sitting in your chair. You can literally just arch backward just for about 5 seconds and then come on back up. Or you can stand, hands on the hips. I just went out of screen, but that's all right. You're just leaning back and you just stay there for about 5 seconds and come back up. And again, don't go real far. If it hurts, you're going too far. It's always the plan there. Don't go into sharp or stabbing pain. But like I said, if you can't stand up for whatever reason and you just want to sit back and lean back for about 5 seconds, that's okay too. Try to keep it as symmetrical as possible. And then just the opposite, where you come forward and you just bend down and you look down at the ground and you stay there for 5 or 10 seconds. But with this one, hands on the knees, push back up into sitting with your hands. Excuse me, when you bend down like that for any period of time longer than about 5 to 10 seconds, it really stretches things out to the point where it makes them a little bit weak to come back up. And if you're a person with back pain and you're trying to come back up from that position, use those hands, okay? So it's coming on down, elbows to the knees, look down. You can even reach down if you want to, really stretch out that low back. Ready to come back up, hands on the knees, push up with your hands, all right? Every time when somebody comes to me and they say, I did this, it felt good when I was down, but when I was coming back up, it hurt, I said, did you put your hands on your knees? Invariably, they say no. So, one more time, elbows to the knees, head looks down. You can stretch down if you want to. We're gonna stay for 10 seconds. And then hands on the knees to come back up and push yourself back up. And that's just a good bit of simple stretching that you can do throughout your day whenever you're at work or at home. If you've been sitting for too long, remember, just get your body moving a little bit. It's always better for us. Thanks for joining us. I'm Eric with Forte.